We're back where we were last time, and to go over everything once again, we are currently making some we're doing some mining in our fortress. We've started off our fortress, we've got all the basics done, we've got ourselves a farm, we got ourselves some basic bedrooms for our starting dwarves, and now we're going to be building the rest of the fortress. So I'm just going to set up the hotkeys real quick. So this is the entrance. We've got a very basic sort of entrance here, nothing too fancy. We just want this to zoom here. If we go down one, then on here we've got our farms. Cheers, thank you, Gnaffle. I greatly appreciate that. So we'll make this the farms there. And zoom here, go down a layer, down a layer, down a layer, down a layer. And this is kind of like the workshop area. So that's going to be workshops. And I want to zoom this to here. Then if we go even further down, we've got F4, which is going to be bedrooms. Zoom that to here. And this layer here, this is the layer that we're going to be mining resources on. So this will be F5, and we'll name this just like ore mine. And we'll zoom that to here. Hey there, welcome. Welcome, Mr. Foshington, Dr. Foshington. Our esteemed colleague is here. So yeah, just to kind of recap what I was saying just before I restarted the stream. The situation is looking pretty good. We've got ourselves... oh, we do need to remove this as well before I forget. I don't want dwarves standing around outside the fortress gate anymore. We need to give them a better place to stand than that. Oh, there's giant turtles on the map. We do need to work out how to capture some of those at some point. Doctor of owning losers online. I mean, that's a good thing to aim for. I hope you're not referring to me there. Nobody could ever own me. I'm unownable. Just letting you know that. But yeah, other than that, yeah. Welcome to the stream. Okay, let's cut down those trees on there. But yeah, we need to set up our defenses because our friends to the west and to the north and to the south, the only direction that our friends are not in is actually to the east, and that's because the ocean's in the way. Our friends could show up any minute. So what we want to do is build ourselves a control room, and I think what we want to do is perhaps build the control room up here, so maybe just having it directly above the bedrooms, because this is going to be an area where a lot of dwarves are going to be traveling. There's going to be a lot of movement in this direction, so what we could do is we could have just like a control room immediately adjacent to the staircase here, and then if a dwarf needs to go pull a lever, then he can just rush in here and do it. You're referring to me. Don't call me a coward. That's rude. But yeah, we'll just do it right there. Holy shit, that was a lot faster than I was expecting. That was a lot faster than I was expecting. Good fucking grief. We haven't even had our first migration wave yet. That's how fast they're coming. 1, 2, 3. 3 zombies. Okay, and we don't have any way to close the fortress down at the moment. We might need to close it through temporary measures, which would necessitate building just like a wall of some description. First thing we want to do is we want everybody inside the fortress immediately. We need to get everybody inside because we haven't had a single migration raid. We haven't had a single migration wave either, which makes this incredibly annoying. We've got 7 dwarves. 7 dwarves. We need all of them to survive. I'm willing to let the animals die. I'm willing to let everything else die. I just need at least all my dwarves to survive. Yeah, like I said, goblin raids are typically tied to wealth, right? Usually how much wealth you have in your fortress will impact whether goblins raid you or not. Undead raids are kind of random, and we neighbour 4 different necromancer towers. They're all within distance of us, and the dead are walking amongst us. They're already here. We do not have any mechanisms for closing this. We do have the. Okay. What we're going to do then is first things first. We're going to set some wall orders here. Just along there, and we want them to grab wood from inside the fortress, not outside the fortress, because if they grab it from outside the fortress, then they'll block themselves off. In fact, we might want them to use stone, But the problem with using stone is that it could be that it would take them too long to get the stone. So what we're actually looking for is wood, but wood that is not close to the entrance. Because, for example, this tower cap log there is further away. So that's more likely to be wood from up here, right? We need them to take this wood. We need them to build the wall out of this wood in particular. I know that this seems really weird, but believe me, there is a reason for it. We need them to use this. So this looks like it's predominantly willow logs. What's outside here? This is all acacia, orange wood, acacia, carambola, citron, desert lime, carambola. Okay, so that being said, it looks like there isn't much paradise nutwood. So I'm going to assume that any paradise nutwood that we find is paradise nutwood that's necessarily within the fortress. I want them to use fortress wood. So let's do that. We'll build a wall here, and we're going to just use paradise nutwood logs. Okay. Next step is to do the same thing where the sheep are. We're just going to let our sheep die. I really see no way of avoiding that. We'll have to get sheep again some other way, unless it turns out that the enclosure that we made is sufficiently safe. I have a feeling, though, that they can climb into it, so our sheep might be sacrificed. We do have one thing on our side. We have one thing as an advantage. There are giant turtles on the map, which means that the zombies will probably aggro onto the giant turtles first, which means that the zombies will run towards them before they run towards our dwarves. So we've got time. We've got time, but it's not a lot of time. In fact, instead of building the wall there, what I want to do is I want to build the wall here. I want to build it across here. We already have the anvil inside the fortress this time. That was the thing that led to the downfall of the fortress last time, was the fact that we didn't have any we didn't have our anvil inside the fortress. Okay, so we put that wall there. Now we need to set up a zone. We need to set up a burrow, and we need to restrict all the dwarves to the burrow. So let's add a new burrow here, and we'll define it by just we'll define it the simple way, just by taking a massive area and then just going down several. Actually, that's not even big enough there. We'll just start there, yeah. And then we just go down, 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 down. Go down a couple more. Down, 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 down. Yeah, that'll do for now. We'll need to make it more elegant than that, because there's tasks that will need to be done outside of this. But that should cover most everything in the fortress, without covering any of the outside areas, so that they won't be assigned tasks from outside. We don't have any holes in the wall of the fortress or anything like that, so that's fine. So this should be perfectly safe. We haven't cut any wood above the fortress. So yeah, the only thing left to do then is to assign a alert to this burrow. So what we want to do is we want to change the name of this. So if we enter define here, and then we set the name of this, I think the most appropriate name for this will be PANIC, panic. In fact, let's make that more accurate with an exclamation mark as well, just to emphasize the fact. So this is the panic bunker. We're going to exit out of that. And now we need to go to our military. We now want to go to schedules. Oh no, actually it's on S, isn't it? Is it capital S? I always forget how to schedule people. It's something I only rarely do. I think it's on set orders, actually. No. It's not on squads, is it? No, that's not it either. Unless it's one of those things where I have to have a military squad first before I can set... I'm pretty sure it's something you do from the military screen. I'm just going to quickly check it, because I need to make sure that I get this absolutely right. So I need to make sure that I'm doing this correctly, because obviously we've only really got one shot at this, and if I fuck it up, then... okay, yeah, it's M. That was it, M. So it's on M. Okay, no, it's not M, it's N, capital N. Capital N? No, okay. Oh wait, no, it's MA. There we go. Yeah, figured it. Okay. Right, we want to set all the civilization to panic mode. So... Okay, so we've assigned them to we've assigned the civilization to that. So when they're inactive, they're not on burrow, but when they're active, they're in panic mode, and they should now be assigned to panic mode, which means that they won't be able to do tasks outside anymore, which should send everybody running inside. So let's just take it one step at a time. We should see a bunch of cancelled orders if this has worked properly. So we're going to be doing this just one step at a time. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so Gnafel here has cancelled his order to chop wood because it's in a forbidden area now, so that means that all the dwarves are going to run inside as soon as we unpause the game. The only tasks that they're allowed to do now are indoor tasks, so we should be kind of safe for a little bit. The dead walk hide while you still can. Wait, what? There's only one zombie? Okay, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Nobody's building this wall. Why is nobody building the wall? Oh, I can think of why, actually. It might be that they're not building the wall because the... Okay, let's look at our announcements here. Cancels construct building, yeah, forbidden area. Okay, that means that the burrow isn't big enough. So that's in W for burrow. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Yeah, see, this is what I mean about taking things slowly. I almost missed the fact that the wall I told them to build wasn't actually within the area of the burrow, which meant that they weren't being allowed to build it. So now they should just be building it. Okay, so it looks like one of them has already started the order to build the wall. He's got one piece of wood there. Okay, that's one bit of the wall done. Come on. Come on, you bastard. That's another bit of the wall done there. Wait, what? Okay, now I'm really confused. Announcements. Reports. Okay, I'm still not taking any chances. We're still walling off this fortress. The dead were here, but have they gone already? Okay. We're shutting down the fortress anyway. For at least as long as it takes for some civilians to arrive. Okay, while the probabilities to happen is random, the number of zombies does scale with wealth and artifacts in your forts. Also, they depend on the number of zombies on the towers. There's a real chance of emptying the towers after a while. Yeah, but it looks like they've already gone home. I don't know if zombies can ambush. Elves being dirty tricksters, are capable of ambushing. What that means is they'll turn up at your fortress, but they won't announce themselves until they run into somebody. Necromancers can ambush, okay. But I did see some show up on the map, right? I saw some show up on the map. So I don't know why they're not showing up on there. I'm not sure why they're not showing up on there. I don't spot anywhere. Our dwarves are all inside now, so they're all safe anyway. Some of our animals aren't, but that's the sacrifice and we're willing to make for the time being. Okay, I'm going to continue constructing stuff, and we're going to continue working on our fortress whilst we just wait out. What I'm going to wait for is I'm going to wait for an alert. I'm going to wait until we get perhaps like some... I think the best thing to wait for would be to wait until we get some migrants to show up. Because basically, if there are zombies on the map that we just don't know about because we don't know where they are, then if migrants show up, the migrants will get eaten by the zombies, and then we'll know where they are. No, we don't have the siege tag, actually, so you might be right. You might be right. It looks like it might have been... It might have been the dead just showing up to see... Yeah, that I know that can happen as well. I actually think we had two. I think we had two show up at the same time. I don't know if you've seen this place, Sailor, but I think you'll be interested in it. Have a look at our holdings. You can even see immediately we're at war with two different civilizations. Let me show you what they are. So up here we've got the Goblin Tower of Wayne Stole, which we're at peace with, but not because it says peace on there, but we're very obviously not at peace with them. Then there's an Elven Tower over here. Then over here there's another Goblin Tower. Then over here is another Goblin Tower. Then there's a couple of Elven Forest Retreats. Then again, their population seems dead small. Maybe they just don't have many zombies in them. This one's a Dwarven Tower. It's got a really small population as well. Yeah, this whole area is called the Field of Sorcerers. So we've sited our fortress within the Field of Sorcerers. Oh, okay, the population doesn't include zombies. That makes sense, and that's what I thought. But yeah, the entire area is called the Field of Sorcerers. So there are a lot of necromancers along this coastline. There's another one here, which is another elf one. And then here we got another Hillocks. There's a Goblin Forest Retreat there, so that was the former elf one. But yeah, there's just a shed load of, and here, by the way, is our fortress, the T. Our civilization, by the way, doesn't seem to have any other sites. I was looking at this earlier today, and I was looking to see where our civilization came from. Like, which dwarf civilization is our fortress a part of? And it isn't a part of any. I don't think that our civilization has any sites other than this fortress here, which means that there's a very good chance that we're going to become the capital. Yeah, no sites. There are some dwarven sites around. So this here, there's a load of dwarven hillocks here, but they're part of two separate dwarven governments. And then there's an elf. There's a massive concentration of elves here. This elf empire. There's mountain homes over here. Mountain halls. These ones are of a different government than ours. The Mountain of Craziness is the name of their civilization. Our civilization is the Young Boulder of Flukes, and our site government is the Sabre of Catchings. So yeah, we're not a part of this. This is a massive world I generated, by the way. You can see how big it is. But yeah. We might make a tavern. It might be tricky, but we might. But we need to resolve our zombie situation either way. We do have a room that I'm going to be using to make some mechanisms as well. So we'll be doing that immediately as well. And we'll just put some levers up in here. 3 ought to do it for now. If we're not at siege, then I think we're going to have time to be able to set up our mechanisms. Well, the thing is, Sailor, the first wave of migrants is pre-programmed. You always get it, no matter what state your civilization is in. So we should get at least one migrant wave. We haven't received it yet, though, which is kind of concerning. Or at least that's my understanding of it. These things do change. But yeah, we can now set everybody to not be on alert anymore. So military alert inactive. So you can see now that they're all going about their business. They're not restricted to where they can go. Raid the Dwarven Tower while it's weak. Get your dwarves to read secrets of life and death and embrace the darkness. Nah. There's at least 2 things wrong with what you said, Avenue. Number 1, I don't want to build a Necromancer Fortress. Number 2, why would we raid the Dwarven Tower when we could instead raid the elves' necromancer tower and steal their books instead. Because why would we steal from our fellow dwarves when there's a perfectly good tower made by elf necromancers that we could instead burn down? In fact, there's even a goblin necromancer tower as well. So, yeah, I mean, necromancy is an abomination. It's a massive sin. You shouldn't do it. But the only thing worse than doing necromancy is when elves do necromancy. Can you imagine that, being like risen up from the dead by elves and forced to take part in poetry readings and other such nefarious and evil things? Can you become a necromancer? Yes, you can. Not in real life, but if that's what you're asking. Or at least I don't think you can in real life, but yeah. Somebody's going to start complaining about my mining methods. I know it. It happens every time that I make a fortress and I start mining stuff out, but I don't care. I like to build corridors, and there's a way that I like to build them, so we're just going to build them out like this. Yeah, you can make your dwarves necromancers. The only issue with making dwarf necromancers is that necromancer dwarves will raise anything from the dead that they can see that is eligible to be raised from the dead, which makes it very much difficult to have any kind of a meat industry, because what they'll do is they'll see like they'll just turn random bits of leather into monsters basically when they see it, which means, you know, it's kind of difficult. The other thing that I think is the same, I know this is true for vampires. I don't know if it's true for necromancers, but because necromancers are immortal and because vampires are immortal, they'll never drink alcohol. They'll never drink alcohol. And what that means is that dwarven vampires get incredibly upset about the fact that they haven't had a good drink in a really long time. So that's like a bit of a concern, is the fact that, like, if you build a fortress and then have it populated entirely by vampires, they will be very pissed off vampires. So there's the tetrahedrite over there. We do just want to kind of mine this whole thing out, but we also want to make sure that we do it intelligently, because we don't want to leave our fortress open to the we don't want to leave our fortress open to the elements. We don't want to leave it open to the cavern lair, because then we could have other nasty things show up. There is a way that we could actually cap this off. What we could do would be to just build a bridge here. We'll make this out of, like, I don't know, paradise nut wood. Oh yeah, you have to use taverns to make them drink, which works. I mean, it's a workaround. You didn't used to be able to do that though. That, you know, before taverns. But yeah, you have to have a tavern then. We don't have a tavern at the moment. We will have one though. I mean, you know, like, what kind of fortress is a fortress when it doesn't have a tavern? It's not really a fortress then, is it? More of just a place where people work. Yeah, we'll just make some more beds as well. I've also got some containers here. Marble coffers. I don't want to use the bloody ones I stole from the elves yet. Gneiss coffers, and there's a microline coffer there as well. Microline coffer here. Microline coffer there. Cabinets, microline cabinets, microline cabinets. Microline cabinets, microline cabinets. I bet all you people were like dead excited. You're like, oh my god, there's going to be some action. Some zombies throwing themselves at the wall of the fortress. And instead they all just showed up and then fucked off. Make a tomb for the corpses. We don't need a tomb. Not yet, anyway. We don't have it. We don't have any corpses to put in it. I guess we could prepare in advance, but, you know, like, are we going to prepare for failure? Are we setting ourselves up for failure? Is that what we're doing? Are we saying that our fortress is going to fall victim to the zombies? Is that what you're trying to say? No, that to me suggests a kind of cowardice. It's kind of like, yeah, I have so little faith in my fortress that I think that and I'm not going down that route. We have plenty of faith in our fortress. I mean, look at that fine set of dwarves that we've got. We've got Avenue Phil, Basilius Bass, Gnaffle, Foshington, Dennis Wolf, Red Armor, and this one dwarf here, whose name has changed for some reason, and I don't know why. I know he had one. He was interested near his own fine bed. He was interested near his own fine container. He was anything after sleeping in a good bedroom. He didn't feel anything at work. Okay, he was annoyed about the lack of chairs. We can fix some of those. The only thing to fear is fear itself. We don't have any elves to drop in it, though. So that's the problem. If you fail to prepare, you better fail to... Oh, there's different... You know, there's I mean, I understand your point, but, I mean, we're not going to build a cemetery because none of our dwarves are going to die. And if any of our dwarves die, then that means they weren't really dwarves to begin with, and in which case they don't deserve to be buried. Because only a dwarf deserves to be buried, obviously. And if you die, then you're not a dwarf. So, yeah, that's... there we go. We don't need to bury any of them. We're not at war. We're not at war with the elves yet. It won't take long. Oh, okay, cool. We've got our first migrant wave. So we'll soon find out the fate of the zombies, or if they're still on the map. But let's have a look and see which... oh, we got a miner. That's actually really good. So we've got one miner. I'm expecting at least 10 cheesemakers as well. What else? We've got a furnace operator. Also useful. Oh, go away, petitions. I don't want any of these monster slayers to stay in my fortress. Go away. A woodworker? No, sorry. Oh, a cloves maker. I think we found our first person for military duty. All right, we should cut this down then anyway. Okay, yeah, here's the... Oh, I just realized something really daft. The way that I built this means that it's impossible now to get in there. Because even if you raise the bridge up, then the bridge is actually going to rise itself up and form a wall. So you can't get around it. Actually, what we need to do then is dig out one lane there. Oh, it's on automatic. Yeah, designating goal. Yeah, so we need to dig that out there instead and do it like that. Deconstruct that bridge and then move it slightly. But yeah, designations, remove construction, and then just remove all those. Okay, so we've also got... okay, have we only got 3 migrants? No, we got some pets arriving on the map. We do need an administrator as well. We need a bookkeeper. Oh, we got another one. Who's this? Stoneworker. Cool. Stoneworker. That works. And another one. We've got a peasant. That's going to be good. He's going to be a fine candidate to be our bookkeeper. Okay, let's assign these 2 bridges then. So we want to link this one to this one here. Then we want to do the same again by linking this to this one here. Yeah, sure, Kel. I'll name a migrant after you. Is there any particular one that you want, or do you just want a random one? We'll have to wait until they're all on the map anyway before we can have a look at them, but we've got some useful ones at the very least, it seems. Alright, the thing we've got to do now, we've got to deconstruct that bridge. It's in the wrong place. Have any more arrived? Doesn't look like any more are arriving. I think that's all the ones that we're going to get. It seems like they enjoy standing on the edge of the map. We should probably build a dining room. Do we want to build the dining room on its own layer? Or should we do something cool? Should we have like a dining room that overlooks the caverns? Actually, no. You could do it, but it'd be a bit of a pain in the arse to set up. Do we want to build a dining room in the caverns? Do we want to breach the caverns, then build a dining room in it, and then block it off again? But we've basically captured a little bit of the caverns, and oh god, I can see monsters. What the hell is this thing? Oh, it's a giant cave toad. I don't want to have to fight that right now. Then again, if I open the caverns up, it means that the useless sod who calls himself a monster slayer will actually go and do something, so maybe we'll give them the opportunity. Yeah, sod it. Let's go mine some materials. We need some ores. So we'll mine out this, and yeah, we'll just mine out all of these ores there. We need to start getting bronze as quickly as possible. We need to start getting all of that, you know, set up, because when the zombies are back, we're gonna need it. We're gonna definitely need that bronze. And you can see that the monster slayer has set off. In fact, we could follow him for a bit. This dude here. He's actually going to explore the caverns for us, which is kind of helpful. He's going to find out where things are. Or he's just going to wander around the caverns eternally and never find anything worth fighting. But still, it's up to him. You know, that's his life, that's what he does. So we want to do that, and we also want to mine out this. This is the tetrahedrite, right? There it is. What we could do is actually, if we were to make a massive stockpile here, just like a really big stockpile over there, and just have like an entrance on that side here. What we could do is we could make a massive stockpile for ores, and then the ore stockpile can be where we, you know, we'll just have a place to put the ore inside the fortress itself. Has he found anything to kill yet? No, he hasn't. He's kind of bad at this. I mean, there's a giant toad up there he could kill, if he wanted to. Okay. In fact, he just walked past it. Or maybe he considers giant toads to be beneath him. Maybe he considers it to be a bit of a baby's first monster killing task, so he doesn't demean himself by going down to that sort of level. It could be either one, I suppose. Yeah, microline doors is fine. And then we'll just put a massive stockpile of custom stock. Disable that, and what we want is where is it? Stone. Enable metal ores, and then forbid. So that they're only allowed to put metal ores in the stockpile, and then that means that they'll move any ores that they find into that stockpile from this mining layer. We're just going to mine all of this caverns out, basically, and make it kind of, you know, useful. I think we should definitely build something on this layer though. Once we've mined it out, like we should mine it out and then build, I don't know, just anything useful really. We've got all those there. Actually, we want to do that there, that there. And then automatically mine out the ores on that side as well, and just mine out as much of the caverns as you can, as quickly as possible. Okay, so is this all the dwarves are getting? It wasn't a big migration wave, so we might have the trouble. Wait. Where did that capybara go? Did it starve to death? There is a possibility that it starved to death. We might have a cage somewhere with a dead capybara in it. That doesn't bear thinking about, really, does it? Oh, they found the giant toad. It looks like the miners are fighting it. The miner punches the giant toad in the upper body with her right hand, bruising the fat. Oh god. This miner's just punching the giant toad to death. She hasn't used her pick at all. It looks like they killed the giant toad though. It looks like the miners won that. So I wonder if one of them got the kill then. Well, it's not dead yet, but I guess we'll find out soon. Oh no, it's back up again. They're smacking it down. It regained consciousness, and now they're fighting it again. The miner punches the giant cave toad in the left front foot with her right hand, fracturing the bone. The force pulls the left front leg, bruising the skin. The miner scratches the giant cave toad in the upper body, tearing the fat and bruising the muscle, and bruising the left lung. Oh my god. Put it out of its misery, it's just bleeding to death all over your workplace. Oh, it's finally dead. There we go. Which one of them got the kill then? Which one of them was credited with the kill? Avenue Phil didn't get it. Probably this miner then? Basilius Bast? No, Basilius Bast didn't get the kill. Oh, Adil did, the new miner. Okay, how about that? Kel, you can be Adil. You can be the giant cave toad killing miner. The first victorious fight in our fortress's history, when we slaughtered the cave toad for daring to interfere in our affairs. You're a level 10 miner, you're not that bad at it. I do want you to do stone detailing as well though. Which you're actually rubbish at, but that's fine. You can get good at that. Dr. Cal, whilst I'm here, I'm going to give the customary nickname to our peasant dwarf. He's going to be Dr. Nitro. Long-time viewers of my fortresses will know that every time I appoint a bookkeeper in my fortress, I name him after our friend of the show, Mr. Nitro, Dr. Nitrogen. Because he's good at numbers, and I need somebody in my fortress who is good at numbers, but also somebody that I can bully and, you know, make do demeaning and pointless tasks. So he's going to be the guy in charge of that, and we're going to give him a little office space that he can operate out of. We should already have one actually somewhere for our... Oh, actually, what we could do is... I don't see an office space up here. Did I build an office for our manager? I thought I did, unless I just put a table and a chair somewhere. Oh yeah, I did it down there. I can see where I did it. In that case, what I'll do is... You can have a little office here. And we'll build a complementary... an office to complement that on the other side. And why don't we build some statues as well? Let's build some statues out of rock. Quantity, let's say 5. We'll make 5 statues and we'll see what kind of statues we get. Best boxer in the fort, yeah. To be fair, they could have used the picks if they wanted to. It probably would have been more efficient, but hey. You know, whatever works, works. Oh, and we're going to need some tables as well, aren't we? Rock table. Why don't we start making... We'll just make 2 rock tables. And then we'll also make 2 rock thrones. I know I said that I wanted to build a... I said I wanted to build a dining room, didn't I? I've got an idea for the dining room. I think you'll like it. Actually, no, I think you'll hate it. I think you'll think it's a really dumb idea. But I think it'll be a good idea, so I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to make a dining room entirely out of... I'm going to make a dining room entirely out of brass. How about that? Actually, no. The chat can decide. Should we make it out of brass or should we just make it out of zinc? What's the best material to make a dining room out of? I think brass. I think we should do brass. It'll be really valuable because brass is actually quite a valuable metal. But yeah, we could make an entire dining room out of brass, and it'll be the envy of all dwarven kind. I'm designating this one manually because I don't want to breach the caverns. That's why I'm doing it this way. I don't want to breach the cavern on this layer anyway. Settle for brass. Okay, we'll go with brass. We could make it out of tin, but tin is basically worthless. So I would like to at least make it out of something with some value, even though zinc is also worthless actually. But where would we be in a world without zinc? Okay, so we need zinc bar and copper bar. Okay, what's better? Is it making sphalerite and tetrahedrite to make 8 brass bars? I think that's the best way of doing it, isn't it? Because otherwise, you use a zinc bar and a copper bar. Yeah, actually. I think that, yeah, sphalerite and tetrahedrite for the brass. So what we need to do first of all is we need to make a room for, well, I guess what we'll do is we'll do it here. So we need to make a furnace. Not a cabinet, sorry, workshop. No, it's not, isn't it? It's under F here. No, F, no. It's under its own thing here. Is it under E? Yes, it is. Okay. So we want a smelter, and we're going to need a wood furnace as well. We're going to need both of these. So we'll build a wood furnace here, and we'll make this out of marble. Why not? And then we'll make the smelter and make that out of marble as well, because I'm guessing that's going to be the closest one. And yeah, that's going to be the first part of our production. Okay, there we go, like that. And what I'm doing here is I'm just like planning out how I want to lay out this room here. So we'll have that be that like that, that like that, and then down like that. Oh, actually, no, that doesn't mirror that, does it? Oh, actually, it does. It does. I think. No, it doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, that does mirror that now. 3 by 3. Okay, cool. I know that this is a lot of kind of like effort just to make it kind of match, but it's important to me that it does, because otherwise I'd be really bugged about it. It would irritate me every time I looked at it, so I need to make sure that it matches as far as possible on all sides. So I think that that matches. I might be wrong, but we'll find out in a second. Okay, we do have an ore stockpile, so hopefully they are moving just like... No, it doesn't seem like they are. Either that or just no dwarves. No, there are dwarves. There are plenty of dwarves free who should just be doing that task. And oh god, there are these things. Great Dralthers. I think Dralthers are mostly harmless. But then again, a lot of stuff in Dwarf Fortress that is mostly harmless isn't actually that harmless. Yeah, these things are absolutely massive. What we probably want to do then is actually just set up some cage traps. Yeah, we just want to set up some cage traps along here. Oh, and we'll make some more mechanisms as well. We'll just make, I don't know, let's make 30 of those. We should have already hooked up our things, so we can just use all the mechanisms now. We've got all of our necessary defenses up, but these things are already making their way into our fortress, which is kind of worrying me. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. They are just terrified of dwarves, so they run away. We might just be able to capture one then. We'll just set up some cage traps. Hopefully, the dwarves building the cage traps will just scare them away constantly. I don't want to get into a fight with our dwarves. That'd be terrible. Oh my god, come on with the cages. I know we got plenty of cages as well. Let's make some rock cage. No, we only need wooden cages, it's fine. Let's just make 20 wooden cages. I know that we've already got plenty of cages, but I'll just keep making them. So that I know that I've got enough, and so that I know that I've got plenty of cages. Okay, so we've got someone here constructing buildings. This guy's making wooden cages. He's constructing tables. Okay, those are connected up with mechanisms. A gremlin. A gremlin? How did he get so far into our fortress? Alright, well let's see what happens to the gremlin then. Go to unit. F, let's follow it. So the gremlin's currently wandering around. He's been captured. I think he's just been hit by somebody. The Marks Dwarf attacks the gremlin. He smacked the gremlin. By the look of it, he smacked the gremlin just in the face or in the wrist. The gremlin's running off. No, it's coming back. Probably trying to get back to the entrance or trying to get to a map edge. Yep, there we go. The gremlin ran away. Okay, cool. So now we've got gremlin blood all over our staircase. But you know, despite that. Okay. You're under a tornado warning. At least you're not under a goblin warning. I mean, you know, that'd be terrible, right? But I hope everything's fine for you anyway. Right, I do need to get this bridge built. Out of paradise, not wood. Oh god, why are our dwarves grabbing stone from all the way there? Nobody's put any stone into this yet. Unless the stockpile settings are wrong. Oh, maybe it considers marble to be an ore. Change settings. Stone. No, why would it consider marble to be an ore? Okay, that might be actually. It's the additional options. What music is this? This is the music from the game Stronghold. I think that this is the song Castle Jam. Stronghold is a great game with a great OST. A bit of an old game though. They have tried to make some sequels, but they're not very good mostly. But yeah, that's just what it is. It's just Stronghold. But yeah, I think this is Castle Jam. I think this song is Castle Jam. Okay, so that's that. What I wanted to do... Oh god, there's a Dwarf in the fortress up here. I just need to put some cage traps on the staircases. Just around the staircases so that stuff doesn't get up through here. So why don't we actually just do that? It takes some ages to arm cage traps though, which is the only thing that's really annoying me at the moment. It's just that they're not arming these cage traps, it seems. Oh, that Dwarf just stomped that kitten to death. Oh, the dog, sorry. Oh god, it's crushed that dog. Okay. Well, we have... It's not exactly a zombie invasion. It is a kind of invasion. Oh god, can you imagine these things as zombies, though? Zombies are more terrifying the larger they are, generally speaking. And these things are pretty big. They're about the size of elephants. So, like, a zombie Dwarf would be pretty terrifying because there's just no meaningful way to kill it. Zombies are pretty hard to kill anyway. And the bigger they are, the more difficult it is, and the more damage they can do. So yeah, like, I mean, zombies aren't the most difficult thing to kill. There are hidden fun things in the world that are more difficult to kill than zombies, but zombies are definitely up there in terms of just like annoying monstrosities to destroy. I'd say that, yeah, there are definitely things worse than zombies you can deal with, though not all of them you can find in Fortress mode. Now, there is actually going to be a zombie update at some point, so they're going to be updating the way that zombies work, which means that we are going to be getting some... We will eventually get some really interesting new features in this run, and one of the things that I know that they're planning on doing is making it so that necromancers can construct, like, Frankenstein-style monsters, right? So you can make some kind of abomination out of, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Just like the worst of the worst sort of nasty creature. So that's something to keep an eye out on anyway. Whenever the new update for this game comes out, it's going to be spectacular. But you know how it takes forever for them to. It takes forever for Toadie to do these things, and I don't blame him. You know, it's a complicated game. He just takes his time with it. Hell yeah, Dwarf Fortress, let's go. Yep. We're currently just building everything. We're just kind of setting stuff up at the moment. We're not really doing anything in particular. You know, trying to... Oh god, are they here again already? We have got the siege tag this time. But there's only one zombie. And he's an elf hammerman. Let's see if he stays on the map. Okay, so he's stayed on the map. I think he's the only one still. You know, we could kill it. We might be able to kill it. And the reason I say that is because we do have some friends standing outside the fortress gate. There's currently a human axeman up here, though he's not exactly where he needs to be.
Thank you very much.
Trabishu, thank you for following as well. Greatly appreciate the follow. But yeah, why don't we have a check on here as well? If we go here, we've got ourselves a Meta Bemk. Hikani, the human spearman, who is actually very close to where the zombie is. They might actually fight. I think the zombie is heading towards him. Let's see if he kills him. I think the zombie and him are kind of having a little bit of a stare off. I'm not sure what's going on here. This zombie's very slow. We don't have any others on the map, do we? No, it's just the one zombie. So yeah, we can let this run a bit and see how it goes. There's not much of a zombie siege, is it? It's kind of like a bit pathetic, really. Also, it says I'm dropping frames. If I have any quality issues, if there's any issues with like it doing anything, then just let me know in the chat. And you know, I want to make sure that the quality of this is as good as possible, despite the evident appearance of. Okay, let's see how it goes. Shall we do this one step at a time? So the zombie and the human are approaching each other. Oh god, I think somebody's already lost an arm. I can even see it here. Holy shit. Okay, let's have a look at this report. The elf hammerman corpse strikes at the human spearman, but the shot is blocked. The human spearman punches the elf hammerman corpse in the lower right back teeth with his left hand, and the severed part sails off in an arc. The human smacked the fucking zombie in the gob. He just fucking punched it. And his teeth have gone flying everywhere. The zombie hammerman corpse punches the human spearman in the head with her right hand, but the attack is deflected by the human spearman's large copper helm. The force pulls the neck, tearing apart the skin. Oh my god. Yeah, they're just duking it out. The human spearman stabs the elf hammerman corpse in the lower left leg with his silver spear, but the attack glances away. The force twists the left knee. A ligament has been torn and a tendon has been torn. Oh, there's just like body parts flying everywhere. Actually, I think those are just elf teeth. Yeah, no, they are just elf teeth. There's just elf teeth flying. Oh god, he cut off his nose as well. Nose cartilage. The elf hammerman bashes the human spearman in the right hand with her copper warhammer, but the attack is deflected by the human spearman's large iron right gauntlet. Are you playing any mods? Those head punches can be super deadly unmodded. Nope, no mods. The only thing that we've got is utilities. And it looks like the human didn't make it. So the zombie has survived this round. You can see she's missing quite a few different features. Her head's hair is gone. Her head's hair is gone. She's lost so much hair that the game decided to tell us twice. She's lost most of her toes. She's lost some fat. She's lost more of her toes. Most of her teeth are gone. The human's dead though. We've lost a comrade. But that does mean that we can take his stuff later, which we will be doing. I won that silver spear. But yeah, so the zombie is still alive and he's still technically sieging the fort. So how about we send a quick little order to our dwarves to get inside. Militaries, alerts, everybody just go in panic mode. So everybody's just going to go inside the fortress now. And we want them to just pull these levers as well. F indeed. The zombie is currently just attacking creatures outside the fortress. They're attacking some of our stray buffalo. There's a stray yak bull that's just hanging around out here, which the elf hammerman is attacking. So you can see here. So that gives us plenty of time to just close the fortress up and, you know, defend ourselves. So we can now take everybody off of military alerts. So we just put that as inactive. And yeah, we resume with our fortress where we left off. It's only the single zombie, but we don't have like a military force to go kill it. And we don't have any kind of equipment yet, which we need to do. But we do have a wood furnace now, so what we can do is we can make charcoal. So what I'm going to do is we're going to tell him to make charcoal. Let's just make 40 charcoal seems good. And we want to have a bar stockpile down here, so we're just going to have all of our metal bars in that stockpile there. Near where the Dwarf is hanging around. Yeah, there's just a bloody monster hanging around in our fortress. These dwarves are taking their sweet time making any cage traps, which really irritates me. Also, we have got plenty of drinks, so I don't know why that dwarf isn't. Oh, we needed some wares, didn't we? We wanted some pots. So why don't we make some pots out of rock, and we'll just make like 50 of them. 50, I think, is a good number. Are all of our things being made? We're making plenty of drinks. We're not making any wood cups, it seems, or any. Okay, we haven't made any rock pots, so I guess I need to check and make sure I actually have a dwarf assigned to do rock stone crafting. I do have a stonecrafter dwarf. He might be too busy doing architecture, because he's also our architect. We've got a stone crafter here, a mason. We've got 2 masons. So this one is a mason and a stone detailer. So he's a mason. I'm going to tell him that he can also do some stone crafting as well. I'm just doing this off screen. It's you don't need to see it really. Just so that we definitely got some dwarves doing that, because we need to make sure that we're doing it. And our other dwarves are currently just setting up our bar stockpile over there. That's all fine there. And yeah, I think we do have a crafts dwarf workshop, right? Okay, we might also be blocked because we might not have a dwarf doing wood crafting. In fact, we don't. We have Dr. Nitro, who's our administrator. He can do wood crafting in his spare time, and this clothier can also do wood crafting as well. He's a gem cutter and a clothes maker. What a more sad I don't think you can have a sadder combination than those two things. I'm also going to assign our furnace operator to do every single kind of blacksmithing, because he's the only person in the fortress with any experience at doing any of those things. And he's only good at furnace operating, which isn't really... He's not even good at it, he just has a little bit of skill in it. So yeah, we've got a furnace operator, very cool. Right, as far as the zombie situation is concerned, he's hanging around down there. He's not really fighting anyone at the moment. It looks like we've got some animals in a cage there. I think that's a barn owl. He's still slowly chasing the yak. It's a very slow zombie. Possibly we could cage it? I don't know. Do zombies break cages? It's always weird seeing other people's fortresses because their design is so individual. I like to pack my workshops closely around stockpiles to minimise walk distance for repeat jobs. I like to just have a central stockpile room, or I like to have like very large stockpiles with stuff in them, and then I like to usually build stuff around them. But I don't know. I like to have it all in a kind of centralised location within the fortress, so that if a dwarf has to do something like grab a chair or whatever, he doesn't have to go very far to do it. But yeah, I don't really design them for efficiency. I don't build very efficient fortresses. I am a messy person in real life and in this game. Like, yeah, I'm not sure why nobody's building these. Is it just that they got suspended somehow? Needs mechanics. I'm guessing that our mechanic is too busy building mechanisms. That's why he hasn't done them. Yeah, he's just building mechanisms. We'll assign another dwarf to be a mechanic temporarily. In fact, this furnace operator can do mechanics as well. Oh, actually, another reason might be because I think we might block this off. Yeah, we did. Okay, cool. So what we need to do is to build a lever here. And we need to set this up pronto so that we can open that bridge again. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, this game can be pretty bad on older computers, and it can be, you know, well, it can be pretty tough, you know, if it wants to be. Yeah, we have a bunch of dwarves stuck downstairs who are currently dying of dehydration because I blocked them into the caverns by accident. So I need someone to very quickly set up this lever here. This guy's going to go grab a mechanism and do that, so that they can get back out. Okay, and then let's link this up to this bridge here. We're just doing this so that if we needed to ever close off the cavern layer, then we can just flip a switch and we'll be able to close it. It's just that when you build the bridge, you obviously build it down, so that means that the bridge is currently. Yeah, he's still doing that. Yeah, he needs to go get another mechanism and then do it. It won't take him long though. In fact, I think he's done that. So why don't we pull that lever there, and then they'll be able to get out of the cavern and they won't starve to death. Excellent, there we go, and you can see that they're rushing out now. And that also means that our dwarves will now arm the traps here, which is good because we need to have these traps set up so that if we have stuff coming into the fortress again, like these Drowfers that are currently in the fortress, then we can just, you know, contain them. The zombie is very close to the edge of our fortress now, I think. In fact, I don't even see where it is. Oh no, that's just a random warrior standing outside our fortress. So there are other warriors in the vicinity. So the elf hammerman is currently chasing yak balls around, so that's why it's not like fighting anything. Really, it's not like fighting any humans that are just lingering around on the map. Oh, there's just that sad sight of this puppy that got crushed by that massive monster, just slowly bleeding to death inside the fortress. Right, put some doors up here. I don't really care what kind of doors they are. Everybody gets a door. Oh yeah, we wanted to build a table here, and a chair there, and a table here, and a chair there. And we also wanted to build some statues. I wonder what kind of statues we got. We've got a statue of a forgotten beast made out of mica, a statue of red armor, a granite statue of someone I've never heard of before, Yemen Sea Swims. There's a marble statue of Dust Nagosp, Trumpet Stolen, and then there's a microline statue of dwarves. Let's have a look at these closer. There's a statue of two forgotten beasts. This is an image of Red Armor, the dwarf, and dwarves in mica. Red Armor is surrounded by the dwarfs. It relates to his selection as the expedition leader. The item is a finely designed image of Yemeni Sea Swims, the elf, and Dirge Souls, the giant leopard in granite by Red Armor. Dirge Souls is striking down the elf. The artwork relates to the killing of the elf Yemeni Sea Swims by the giant leopard Dirge Souls in the Field of Sorcerers in 127. Yeah, I like this statue. I'm going to put this pride of place on the staircase. That is a good statue. I want every dwarf to see it whenever they're walking through the fortress. Normally I'd be disappointed of my dwarves making statues of elves, but you know, he kind of made up for it by making it a statue of you know, of an elf being killed by a giant leopard, so that's fine, yeah. In the Field of Sorcerers, no less. Okay. Okay, so we caught one of the Drowfers in one of the cages already, which is good. So we've got a Drowfer in that cage there. We should also now have some. I believe we should now have some charcoal somewhere. I'm not sure if it's all just in this stockpile here. Unless we just haven't... Unless he's been too busy doing other things. Oh, he's constructing buildings, that'll be it. Yeah, I need him to make charcoal though. The sooner we get charcoal, the sooner we can get bronze, the sooner we could send some dwarves outside with some, like, you know, to go shoot at, for example, that zombie, see if we can kill it. You know, the better, really. It's just hanging around outside our fortress being a nuisance. And we can't open the fortress until it's dead, not realistically. Or until we got some kind of containment mechanism in place to you know, to deal with it. So we need it to just have some metal, really, and bronze will be good enough. We'll just shoot it to shit with bronze, either that or silver. We can get silver from tetrahedrite, I believe. Is the quality of the stream dripping? Is it you're not having any trouble like watching it or anything like that? Hey there, Heart of Gold, welcome. We are currently just doing some stuff in our fortress. We're currently under siege by exactly one zombie. You know, the most deadly kind of dwarven siege there is, the singular zombie siege. Every now and again it stutters. Yeah, that's what I was concerned about. I don't know what's up with my internet. It's like this sometimes, and it really irritates me. It puts me off streaming altogether when it's doing this, to be honest. I don't know why it does this kind of stuff. But yeah, let's not worry about that too much right now. Oh, he's sleeping. Come on, you bastard. I want you to just make some bloody charcoal. I've never been brave enough to settle in spooky areas. This area isn't spooky. It's not a reanimating biome, you know, stuff doesn't come back to life here. We just have some interesting neighbours. So it's not an evil location, it's not an evil biome. We just have some interesting neighbours, some very interesting people bordering our fortress. You can see here that we're currently located in this beautiful part of the world known as the Field of Sorcerers. It's a nice remote location, you know, on the continent of Temptation. The largest continent in the world of Dwarf Fortress at the moment, and yeah, I mean it's a pretty nice area. It's just that some of the neighbours are a bit rough, you know. You know, I mean, oh, you know, we got goblins and we've got elves nearby, elves and goblins. Yeah, you know, there's some dwarves as well, and then we got a necromancer tower, and then we got a necromancer tower. And then we got a necromancer tower. And then we got a necromancer tower. And then there's another 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 necromancer tower. So, yeah, I mean, there are some pretty difficult neighbours, but mostly I think things are, you know, pretty safe here, despite some of our neighbours. So, you know, every so often they want to come visit, you know, they borrow a cup of sugar, that sort of thing, and we have to politely decline, because, yeah, I don't want them to get into my fortress. I don't want them to turn my dwarves into zombies. Oops, sorry, I'm just creaking along in my chair at the moment. I'm looking for my drink, I put it somewhere, so I can't find it right now. But yeah, I love the name of this. I love the name of this fortress. How many months in? We're only about a couple of years in. I think this is year 2 of the fortress. So yeah, this is year 2. We haven't done much, but we've mostly been taking it slowly, you know. And oh god, there are more creatures entering our fortress. What are these? Naked mole dogs. Okay, hopefully they don't rush into our fortress. Bad enough that we got Droufers in the fortress, you know. Still, if we capture them in cages, then that's fine, right? We just have all these bastards in cages. Right, I don't know why our furnace operator is refusing to make charcoal. I'm just going to have a quick check at our... He should be making charcoal. There shouldn't be anything stopping him. Unless he's not got the right... he's got furnace operating. Oh, yeah, no, he doesn't have the requisite... he needs wood burning. He needs wood burning enabled. He needs wood burning as a labour. Yeah, that's it. This is a different labour, different kind of labour. Okay, so we've got these office spaces built. So we can make this into a throne room or study, and we can assign this to Red Arima, who is our current manager. And then we can assign this one to Dr. Nitro, who's our bookkeeper, and he's going to get us some detailed information about how many stocks and things we got like that in our fortress. So yeah, that's going to be good. Year 2 with only a handful of dwarves. It's been a couple of years since I played. Is there any way I can read a summary of the updates? I don't know that there is really, to be honest. I mean, the biggest update I think is the addition of locations. So, for example, your dwarves now have certain needs that they didn't have before. One of the things that your dwarves need to do is they need to actually worship the gods. My dwarves actually don't have any temples. I haven't built any temples yet, so they're gonna be upset about that fact. So what I really ought to do is start building them like a temple lair, which is something I usually do. I like to build them a bit of the fortress where I just have a bunch of temples. So I need to do that. And what they'll do is they'll use instruments and things to worship the gods. And obviously the gods are procedurally generated, and not only that, but the instruments themselves are procedurally generated. Although, in my experience, I don't tend to make instruments, because usually I wait until elves show up at the fortress and then I steal their instruments. I find that this is a more effective way of stockpiling temples. Nah, you know, usually I'll make my own instruments as well, but why make your own when you can just steal them? Sorry, not steal them, acquire them. We're not stealing them, we're just acquiring them in unspecified ways. I'm actually going to build a massive temple, I think, today. We're going to build like a really big temple, and it's going to be dedicated to... this is just going to be like a general temple for our dwarves to worship at. And then we can build specific sub-temples later. So why don't we do that? Just have like a big temple up here. Oh, I know. If it's elves, then it's not stealing. You're 100% correct. You can't steal from an elf because elves aren't capable of owning things. I think. Don't quote me on this. Okay, cool. No, actually, I would have liked to have crenellated it. But yeah, well, building a temple is actually really easy. They don't need any special equipment in there. They just like having lots of space. They like it if the area is smoothed out, because then it makes the temple higher value, and that makes them happier for being in it. And you need chests in it as well, because they'll put the instruments in the chests. You can put statues in it for decorative purposes. However, that is risky. There are risks involved with putting statues into temples. I don't necessarily want to spoil those risks, because I think it's the kind of thing that people like to learn themselves. Unless people really want to know what I'm referring to. I mean, I'm sure that people can figure it out. You know, what you don't want to do with statues in temples, and why it might not be a good idea to put statues in temples for that reason. But yeah, okay, what was I going to do? I was going to make a location. I think that's under X, isn't it? No, it's under P. No, L, I. I for zone. And then we just zone this out here, and then we're going to make this into a meeting area. Then we assign the location, and then we add a location. And you can see here, we can make inns, taverns, libraries, and temples that all have their own different purposes. But we're going to make a temple, and these are the gods of our fortress. We haven't seen these yet. The biggest god in the fortress, or sorry, the gods that are worshipped in our fortress are Risen the Silver of Oil, who is the god of earth and mountains. He's worshipped by one dwarf. Ritham Heelglove, who is the god of fortresses, and he's worshipped by one god. There's a god who's called Az, and he's the god of jewels and wealth, worshipped by one dwarf. Tunur, who is the god of writing, poetry, persuasion, and speech, a very elvish god. 3 of our dwarves, it seems, worship him, which is quite concerning. Enam trusted divine, the peace of purifying, the god of charity, who has got 6 worshippers. And then there's Lam romanced style, who is the god of fishing, fish, marriage, birth, and rebirth. So, yeah, an interesting selection of things to worship. I mean, I don't know about you, but yeah, I'm not quite sure how all of those fit into, you know, like, he's the god of fishing and also marrying people. Whatever, if that's the way that you like to do it, then I am not going to contradict you. And we're just going to put a marble chest at the top of the temple room, and we're going to leave it at that. We don't need to do anything else. In fact, actually, what we could do is we could smooth the entire area down. We do need to get some smoothing practice done, and we're not currently mining anything. Fish and marriage, yeah, maybe a little bit like Jesus. I'd rather they worship gods that are like the god of war or something like that. You know, those are the kind of gods that I think need to be worshipped, not these pansy gods. At least nobody's worshipping the god of nature. Okay, so we've got that. We got that guy there. He's still standing around outside the zombie. He hasn't figured out how to climb walls, which is a good indication that he can't. Otherwise, he would have killed our lambs. I have a feeling he would have done. Either that or he's been too busy chasing the ram that's outside the fortress to do it. And we're currently just smoothing this down. We'll engrave the whole thing as well. I'm not sure whether I'll let them do their own engravings. We could tell them to engrave particular things. Sorry. Just having a quick drink. Yeah, we could instruct our dwarves to engrave. I think maybe we could engrave a memorial perhaps to our dear departed friend. Dilol Kafit Romo. I think we should do that. What do you think? Do you think we should carve an engraving of this human warrior who bravely attempted to punch a zombie in the teeth before dying? I think he deserves a fitting memorial. I don't know about you guys. We'll also make a zoom to here, F6, and we'll just name this to Temple so that we can always come back to this here. Drinking up the gamer fuel. Yeah, I need to stay. You know, if I'm going to become a serious Twitch streamer, I need to make sure that I'm well ahead. Unfortunately, I'm not currently being you know, sponsored by any gamer fuel you know, I'm not, you know, I need to get some sponsorships obviously, but yeah. He lost to an already dead elf while clad in armor and wielding a spear. To be fair, he's done more to combat the elf so far than we have. So I think if we're going to criticize him, then perhaps we also need to look at ourselves. There's a giant earthworm outside as well. And there's another human has arrived. I'm curious because, like, I want the humans to fight the elf. That's what I kind of want them to do. We can't make them, we can't tell them to, but I'm kind of hoping that if the elf is just loitering near the entrance of the fortress, then you know, they're likely to get into a fight with each other. I mean, I think he deserves it more than any of our current dwarves. So on that basis and that basis alone, I'm going to make a memorial to him. Speaking of sponsorships, here's a quick message from our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Oh my god. Okay, I don't think I'll ever have enough viewers to warrant being sponsored by anybody. But I promise you now that if I ever was sponsored by anybody, I wouldn't want to be sponsored by a fucking mobile game developer. Or at least not like one of those sorts of mobile game developers. Has anyone ever actually played that game? I don't think they have. And oh my god, I just realised something terrifying. I think that we might have had a little bit of a cat explosion whilst I haven't been paying attention. We have got a lot of puppies and cats and stuff in the fortress. We might need to butcher some of them. Kittens. Maybe we should butcher the kitten. Nah, we'll let the kitten live for now. We got some Dralthers in cages that we could butcher. We've also got some naked mole dogs. How are we doing for food? Okay, we're doing fine for food, but there isn't much variety. We need to set up some alternative ways for people to, you know, enjoy some food. And that's why we had the lambs in the first place, but I've been kind of worried about doing anything with those. And I don't really have the dwarves necessary for a really intensive sort of industry. So I think actually I will, on that basis, I will just focus on, I don't know, let's make a corridor off in this direction maybe. Actually, no, sod it. We'll do it down here. What is a Dralther? A Dralther is a caverns creature that is as large as an elephant, but is docile. They are mostly harmless, and I think they are trainable, which is why I'm not going to butcher them. Because they make for very good pets, because you can train them and they basically yeah, they weigh about half the weight of an elephant. They can be trained and they have a very high pet value as well, but they do require a pasture in order to be able to survive. But yeah, they're just kind of one of the, I guess they're one of the kind of fantasy animals in the game. And they're quite, because they're quite big, you know, if you butcher them, then they're good for that kind of meat. We also have naked mole dogs, which we could also train, I think. Oh, apparently they don't live very long, do naked mole dogs. So if we wanted to train them, we'd have to hurry up on that. Da, 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 da. But yeah, that's kind of the fortress at the moment, and that's how things stand. Yeah, I do need to figure out how I'm going to do this. I think I'll just... I kind of had this as a temporary stockpile, but I can't really be bothered to change it now, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. And I'm just going to have a corridor shoot off in this direction down here. And we'll just build some rooms down here. We need 3x3 rooms because we can put individual workshops in here. Specifically, I'm thinking like butchering workshop, an ashery at some point, not straight away. I'm not too bothered about making soap right now. There'll be opportunities for that in the future. But at the very least, I want a tanner's and a kitchen and a butcher. So on that basis, I will need, we'll put 2 butchers next to each other, and then 2 kitchens next to each other. And then on this side, we will have, we'll have the same again, except on this side we'll have two tanners, and then we'll have 2, what will eventually be where we make soap on this side as well. You never need much soap, but you always want at least a little bit of soap. I know that you're probably thinking like, oh man, why is he making soap? You know, that's for elves, and I understand. But it's a good building material, so it'd be a shame not to use soap for, you know, its intended purpose, which is to build monuments. Shame you can't build statues out of soap, I guess. Everyone knows slag is the perfect building material. The objectively best building material is wood. The reason why wood is such a great building material is because if you are building things out of wood, then that implies that you cut it down from trees, and if you're cutting down trees, then that means you're upsetting the elves. And you know, that's kind of that kind of is the sum of what you want, right? You want to upset the elves, you want to do everything that you can that's within your power to accomplish that goal. So making stuff out of wood is a surefire way to achieve that. I know it's not a perfect way, but it's one method, because you know, when they come to you and they say, We, the elves of the forests, have decided that we think it'd be best if you were to limit the amount of trees that you cut to 10 trees a year. Well, you say, no, I want to cut 1,000 trees a year. I want to build a tower out of trees. I want you to gasp in amazement and marvel at our cruelty as we demolish this forest and replace it with a car park made out of trees. So that's kind of like the way that I think about trees. Thank you for the follow as well, Heart of Gold. I hope you enjoyed the monologue. Yeah, I have strong opinions about elves. Is one way that is one thing you could say about the stream, I guess. Okay, what's the butcher's shop? It's you, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Okay, we'll make it out of marble. Then we also want to make some kitchens as well, because that's what I said I'd make. I said I'd make 2 kitchens along here. We don't really need 2, but I like to double up and just make sure I have a decent amount. Do it early, saves you doing it later. And then 2 tanner shops as well with N. And then, you know what, we could just have, here we could have leather workers actually, I didn't think about that. So we'll set ourselves up some leather working stockpiles with E. And there we go, we got all those ready there to go. Cut down the trees and replace them with the bodies of dead elves. I'm beginning to think I like elves. They sound like environmentalist comrades. Yeah, I suppose that's one way to look at them. The other thing about elves, though, is that... Okay, I'm going to explain to you why elves and dwarves end up in wars in Dwarf Fortress. There's actually a reason, and there's a code reason why this is. Every civilization in Dwarf Fortress has a set of ethics. Okay? So they have like a set of values, I guess, and the values are semi-randomized. They're not always strictly speaking the same, and it can differ a little. I think humans are the ones who are most likely to differ on their values. They can differ between civilizations, but there are some set values that different species have. So, for example, humans believe that torture is acceptable to get information. Dwarves don't. Dwarves will not torture somebody for that, but they might do it as punishment. Humans and dwarves think that people who commit murder or capital crimes should be punished with death. That's another one. There's one particular ethic that elves have that makes them conflict with both humans and dwarves. Can you guess what it is? It's perhaps not what you're thinking. Is nothing to do with trees, although trees is another part that plays into it. But there's one particular thing that can often set off poor relationships between elves and humans and dwarves. Cannibalism. Kel obviously already knew this because that's why he went straight for the answer. But yes, cannibalism is the answer. Elves think it's perfectly acceptable to eat the bodies of sentient beings, and that's something that dwarves don't do. In fact, elves will eat the corpses of people that they kill in battle. And I'm not. That's actually elf behavior. They eat corpses of people who've died in battle. Like if they kill an adversary, they'll then eat his corpse, because that is totally normal behavior. Obviously, that is totally obviously normal behavior. 100% reasonable to do. Are kobolds cannibals too? I don't think they are. I'm not sure if they. I don't know if they get that one. I know that. Yeah. No. Yeah. In fact, even kobolds don't do cannibalism. Elves engage in cannibalism in the form of eating sapients that have died in battle. That's the kind of cannibalism that they engage in. That's why elves and dwarves often fall out. Okay, but yeah, so that was a little detour in what? What? Oh wait. How did she die? Now that is concerning. That's concerning for... We need to check this out. I didn't see this. Well, it looks like we got our first dead dwarf in the fortress. I guess we could make a coffin for her. In fact, why don't we set it up just in the temple? We can just have it in the middle of the temple room. JM. I'll just make one. She wasn't really a member of our fortress, she was a monster slayer. So she'd entered the fortress as a monster slayer in order to hunt monsters in the caverns. It doesn't look like anything dangerous killed her. She probably tripped over and hurt herself on her own crossbow or something else ridiculous. Oh, I think it was this giant cave troll that killed her. Yeah, it was. Oh my god. On Amsigan, the giant cave troll, it's got a name because it's killed someone. That's how I know. That's how I know that it was that cave troll that did it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have a name. They can have names for other reasons, but that's the most likely explanation. In fact, I think if we were to... There might be a way to just look at it. I always forget how to do it. Q, no, it's not T. No, actually we need to go down here, don't we? Not O, it's not reports. Not Q. View unit, yeah. Yeah, preferences. Okay, so its name stands for Shimmator. And we can see here there's its wound status. There's its normal status. Though we can't see a list of its kills. But yeah, it looks like that cave it looks like that it has had a fight with the... In fact, we can even see the corpse of the particular one indeed. What we should do then is set up some more cage traps. Just set up some cage traps along here so that if it does, you know, get to the entrance of our fortress or anything like that, then we've got it covered and we've got it all done that. I think we have made all the traps that we wanted to make. Yeah, we're currently making rock parts. Somebody will make a coffin eventually, and then we'll be able to inter that corpse in it. Speaking of corpses, it looks like the siege is over. I think the undead has left or been killed, so that means that we can now open the fortress again. And you know, resume contact with the outside world, which is an excellent thing. Maybe we'll get some more migrants showing up as well. Our staircase is still just covered in Dralfers, by the way, which is always concerning, but nevertheless. I think on this layer, what we're going to do here is we're actually going to be building some a dining room, perhaps, or maybe we'll just do it on this layer here. Or maybe we'll do it downstairs a little bit. We do have this massive temple up here. We could build a dining room like adjacent to this area here, and then just have this being like kind of like a complementary room scheme. You know, nothing too fancy. Again, just kind of like a basic sort of dining room shape. Yeah, like that, I guess. And then that's going to be where we can have like some, you know, we'll have, then our dwarves will be less unhappy about that. This will be one less thing for them to be miserable about. But yeah, there's no need to panic. Everything is under control. The situation is fine. We have contact with the outside world again. Maybe we'll even get some traders showing up. Maybe the elves will show up again. Maybe they haven't learned their lesson. Maybe they want to trade with us. Sometimes you punch a toad to death. Sometimes a toad punches you. Yeah. Killed by a giant toad. I wonder if it was poisonous. No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was, Rich. Sorry, hold on. I just had to mess with my chair a little bit. Okay, sorry. Yeah, the donkey is starving. We do need to butcher these donkeys. I've been watching a lot of it's really bad, but I've been watching a lot of Gordon Ramsay TV shows recently. So when I saw that, the first thing I think about is Gordon Ramsay. You know, calling someone a donkey. I might start doing that myself. A war toad would be great. I don't know if you can train toads. I have a feeling you can't. Maybe you can. It's a giant cave toad, actually. Oh, they can be trained. Okay, so we could potentially train them. Well, our last monster slayer died, and this new monster slayer wants to join our fortress to come slay monsters. It's a Marks dwarf again. It's another human mark. This is another dwarf Marks dwarf. I think we should say yes, because obviously we need some more monster slayers. So yeah, go get him, champ. Good luck capturing and killing those cave trolls. Hey there, welcome TKR. How you doing, man? We're currently just building our little fortress. We're just kind of merrily going along. I did say I was... Oh, did I ever make any charcoal? Yes, I did. Yes, we made plenty of charcoal. Excellent. Operation Brass Dining Room is a go. We're going to start mass producing brass. The most valuable metal. Not exactly the most valuable metal, but still, we will do it. We'll make some brass, and we'll also produce some bronze as well. So how about that? We'll set up an order. We will make... How much brass should we make, and how much bronze should we make? We could make... oh, I don't know. Make brass bars. So if he's using ore, they'll do the order, and then they'll produce 8. It'll be 1 ore per then, so if they did it 10 times, that would be 80 bars of brass. If they did it 20 times, that would be 160 bars of brass. So we'll set the order to do 20. So hopefully we should have enough to cover all of that. That might be too much brass, but it would be definitely enough brass that we'd be able to do that. And we can always mine for more. The thing that's we're limited on is cassarites. But that isn't used in the production of brass. That's used in the production of bronze, because that's where we get our tin from. And the other ones that are used in the production of... the one that is used in production of... oh, where's it? Bronze is this copper here, which is in the tetrahedrite, and we've got plenty of that. Oh, sorry, no. Sorry, it's the zinc, isn't it? Zinc. We've got plenty of zinc, we've got plenty of copper. It's just tin we don't have a lot of. I'm doing well, it's Friday, and I just got a couple new jars of honey. Ah, cool. We can make honey in Dwarf Fortress. It's something you can do in this game. It's not something I usually do, because it's a bit of a tedious industry to set up. And this isn't the best place for making honey. Unfortunately, this fortress isn't, but maybe we could do that in a bit, I don't know. Okay, so we've got all that going on there. We do need to just make sure that we're getting everything done. I did want some doors as well, don't I? So why don't we make some doors out of rock? We'll just make like 20 doors. Undead bees. That's not the reason it's annoying. Though it does have to be outside. Which is it's actually not a hard industry to set up. It's just not very useful. You can do it with about 1 dwarf. You only need you only need like a single dwarf, and you get mead. You can get mead from it. You can get honey from it, which can then be used to make, can also be used in cooking to make food. Although dwarves will tend not to use cooking if they got basically anything else available to them. The issue is that mead is really low value, so if a dwarf makes a fine meal or an excellent meal out of mead and then another ingredient, that meal won't be worth very much to me. Sorry, it won't be worth very much to the dwarves, which makes it not 100% desirable to make meals out of. But it is an easy industry to set up, and it does actually give you a lot of useful products, and you don't need a super amount of space for it. So I mean, it's something you definitely can do. I've done it before in Fortresses. I think I've done it before on stream. It's just been a while since I have. Why don't we put that coffin there? I'm going to quickly mess with the sound because I know that the soundtrack's gone. Oh, fucking hell. I just realised that this video, when I upload it to YouTube, is 100% going to get a copyright strike now. Those would not interested. Don't ever show that song again. Let's go with Anno 1404 soundtrack. I feel like you should have some really high value. Yeah, I know. It's actually got worse value than other drinks. It's like the default value on a drink is 2. Mead has a value of 1. The highest value on a drink is 5, and that's like a value modifier as well. So that's how much the value is times by. So mead is just really not worth it for whatever reason. And I don't know whether that's intentional or whether it's just a thing that like Toadie did at one point and then just kind of forgot about or something else, but that's how it is. So yeah, it's just really weird, and I'm not sure why. But yeah, we're gonna bury that corpse into that coffin, and we're gonna now send our dwarves to go mine the dining room out. So yeah, let's have a look at some of these detailed engravings. There's an image of Thickard Brimfence, one of our dwarves. An image of Avenue Phil. Oh, the Colonel of Shields, a masterfully designed image of 2 tick men. Apparently the symbol of our local government is an image of 2 tick men. We've got an image of Red Armor here, being surrounded by dwarves because he's the expedition leader. Cucumbers, Basilius, Bastion dwarves labouring. Okay, I'm going to change the soundtrack again. I'm going to put it just back on the Banished soundtrack. That's good enough for me. Yeah, it doesn't look like we've got any interesting ones. There's lots of pictures of there's an image of an elf and a leopard woman. The leopard woman is cringing and the elf is laughing, and this relates to the tearing off of the ear of the leopard woman by the elf in the year 104. Good grief, dwarves do make some crap. The deity of wealth and jewels as he's striking a triumphant pose. That's more like it. That's more of the kind of thing that I want. I like to let the dwarves express themselves creatively. It's just unfortunate that they do it in the worst possible way. Okay, let's mine out some of this as well over here. I will mine that out as well. Yeah. Okay, so that's up there. We've got more petitions available. I don't want any of these nerds coming into my fortress now. I've already got 1 Monster Slayer, I don't need any more. We currently don't have any of these set up because we don't have any dwarves doing any of those industries. I'm waiting to see whether we get another migrant wave, and then I'll assign people to do those instead. I do know that we have a donkey starving to death though, and I should preferably butcher it before he starves to death. But even if he does starve to death, I don't mind waiting. Thank you for the follow from TKR. Welcome. Rome Total War theme is nice and chill. It's a pretty chill. Actually, no, I haven't played that game in ages. I can't remember the soundtrack now. I was thinking about it then. I was wondering what it was. No, I haven't seen that one in ages. Okay, so we're making brass bars. So if we have a look at our stockpile now, because I just need to know how many brass bars he makes per order. I think the answer is 8, but I want to make sure and check. So if we go to P for stockpile, no, sorry, it's in Z. Then we go across the stocks, and then we need to go to bars. Or blocks, is it? No, bars. There we go. Yes, 8 brass bars. So if he does 20 orders, he'll make 160 bars of brass, and that's what I want. To make a table out of brass, he needs to use. Let's just see how much he needs to use for that. Oh, it doesn't say. Oh, 3 metal bars. Yeah, so 3 metal bars. So 3 metal bars, and yeah, so he uses 3 metal bars per table. So if we were to make 10 tables, he'd need 30 bars of brass in order to do that. Then if we were to do chairs, I imagine chairs is also 3 metal bars. Oh, the wiki. Oh, well, that puts a bit of a dampener on things. The Forgotten Beast, Spars Zumzastuknakast, has come. A towering, scaly tarantula. It has a short trunk and it squirms and fidgets. Its yellow scales are small and set far apart. Beware its poisonous bite. So let's see where this monstrous freak is. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not ever going to get that corpse. Or actually, no, it looks like someone's grabbed the corpse. But where is this Forgotten Beast at? He is currently right over there, which is very close to where our fortress is, and that would mean that he'd be able to get into the fortress. So we're going to quickly resume. We're going to give this miner enough time. Yeah, I can already see where it is. I think the miner is going to die. We can close the caverns. We've already got protective measures up and running in order to do this. So if we just take it one step at a time. Yeah, we're going to have to set the order. We need to set the order to close this drawbridge, and I think that's going to be one dead dwarf in the form of Avenue Phil. I don't see any other dwarfs down here. There is a chance that our Monster Slayer pal is down here somewhere. Although, actually no, is he dead? Oh god, he is dead. How did he die? He was fighting a troglodyte? I think a troglodyte snapped his neck, which is not a good sign. But yeah, we desperately need somebody to pull this lever. There's another dwarf going down into the caverns. Hopefully he gets what he needs. Oh no. He's been locked into the caverns as well. There's 2 dwarves down there now. And yeah, we can see here that the Forgotten Beast has chased Avenue Phil already. Let's go one moment at a time. Avenue Phil has dropped the corpse. He's running away from the Forgotten Beast, but it's catching up with him. Yeah, I think this is it for him. There is a chance he could kill it. There's a chance that he could kill it. If we have a look at the Forgotten Beast, it didn't say it was made out of anything. It squirms and fidgets. With a decent enough blow to the head with his pickaxe, there is a chance he could kill it. But it's a very, very small chance. Is your biome evil haunted? Are your dwarves that get killed going to rise back up again right after? The biome itself isn't haunted, it's just bordering zombies. So there's like 4 different towers within walking distance of the fortress. So there's a lot of zombies as neighbours, which is why zombies have shown up already. So yeah, the miner's been chased and it looks like someone's been hit. The Forgotten Beast kicks the miner in the left hand with its left second foot. Yeah, it's not looking good for Avenue Phil. Being chased around, and yeah, he's dead. There is one other dwarf who's in danger at the moment, which is Gnaffle. Oh! Oh my god! He's taking stuff to the stockpile. He's taking metal ore to the stockpile. When he opens that door, he's going to die. Let's watch. He opens the door, he spots the Forgotten Beast, he runs. But the Forgotten Beast is just sitting there. Okay. Gnaffle. Wouldn't it be best to put them in a burrow? No. All the other dwarves are safe. The drawbridge here has closed the cavern lair from the entire fortress. So, other than Ganafel, no dwarves are in danger at the moment, right? Which means that basically we're fine. There is now a chance that we can save Ganafel. There is a possibility. So Ganafel here is our woodworker. I don't think that he's our woodcutter. I think he's our woodworker. I think, though, that he was doing both of them. So Ganafel, if we check... Ganafel is our woodcutter. Yes, okay. Here's how we save Ganafel. 1. We set an order to cut down a tree. We resume. So yeah, I want you to cut down that tree, Ganafel. He's still trying to do his last job. I really don't want him to do that. I want him to cut down that tree. Oh, never mind. Yeah, he just got smacked. Oh, his foot has exploded. I think that's it for Ganafel. I should have disabled all of his other tasks, really, shouldn't I? Alright, he's dead. That's it for Ganafel, I think. I think that's the end of that. Let's watch him bleed out. We've lost 2 of our dwarves. We can't even haul you away because you're currently locked in the caverns. But yeah, that's an F in the chat for Ganafel and for Avenue Phil. Those are the first 2 dwarves to die in our fortress. And they've both watched the stream long enough to know the rule. The rule is that if your dwarf dies in the fortress, you do not get another dwarf during the course of that fortress. So that's going to be the end of their fortress adventures for them. Didn't get the ultimate bronze either, did you? That's not so much of an issue. We can always mine somewhere else and then get it that way. So I'm not too concerned about that. But yeah, Ganafel's dead. He's been slain by a Forgotten Beast. And that is the end of that. The Forgotten Beast has started off somewhere. And yeah, does anybody else in the stream at the moment want a dwarf? Bara Derp wants a dwarf. In that case, we will give you Ficod because he was one of our arriving dwarves and he doesn't have a name yet. Bara Derp, yeah. That is Ficod. He's the mechanic. Heart of Gold wants a dwarf. You can be the blacksmith. Heart of Gold, and then I think that's it. They've been watching the stream long enough to know if you die in the fortress, you die in real life. Yeah, well, actually, you don't have to die in real life, but, you know. But yeah, so that's that. Other than that, other than the Forgotten Beast that's stalking the caverns, we are mostly safe. And we're in a pretty good spot. I mean, we can get plenty of metal and things like that. We've got access to plenty of those resources. But yeah, Avenue Phil is dead, obviously, and the Forgotten Beast is still roaming around, as Forgotten Beasts often do. So yeah, if we go to unit here, you can see it's currently just sitting around in the cavern there. Actually, I just had it. Oh no, it's not going to stand still, is it? Oh, it's just killing the troglodyte. Okay. Let's observe the Forgotten Beast for a while, because I've got an idea. I've got a really dumb idea. We just need it to stand still. Pretty typical behaviour for Forgotten Beasts, once they've kind of slaughtered everything on their cavern lair. And believe me, this one has done a great deal of slaughtering. You can see just the path of troglodytes is left all over the place. But once it's done all that, I'm hoping it'll just stand still somewhere. Okay, it's currently wandering. Oh no, it's coming across some other creature. What the hell is that thing? A giant earthworm. Well, it's a dead earthworm. So yeah, it's gone up there. God, this Forgotten Beast is deadly. It's killed everything in the entire place. I just need it to stand still for long enough that I can work out a plan. But it's just because stuff keeps arriving in the caverns, so it immediately paths the quickest route to kill it. You can see here it's killed a snake, for example, and now it's going to go find the other snake that's in the cavern at the moment. Did you set up a cave-in trap and then open up the bridge? That's what I was thinking. I was thinking we could set up some kind of cave-in trap, but if it stood still, the easiest thing to do would just be to drop a big chunk of rock on it from the ceiling. All I'd have to do would be to carve around the kind of exterior of where it was standing. That's why I was waiting to see if it stands still, because they do that sometimes. They do like to stand still occasionally. Right, you might see it's sitting there, right? So what I could do would be to go to this layer here, and then just carve that out and carve that out, and then this piece here would just fall, or at least that's the idea anyway. And then that would fall down there, and then it'd crush that. It'd crush Spaz Zumzus, or at least I hope it would, and then we could kill it that way. So, but that obviously depends on it standing still for long enough. And the fortress attracted no migrants this season, which again is not very good news. Not very good news at all. I think we're going to have migration trouble here, but I am going to leave the stream here for now. I know it's only been a 2-hour stream today, but next week I'm hoping I'll be able to stream more often, and we'll be doing a bigger variety of stuff as well. So yeah, it's not surprising no one wants in. I don't think you're wrong, but hopefully we do get some migrants, otherwise we're stuck at 10 dwarves. So we're going to need a tavern or something to attract them. But yeah, we're going to leave it here for now. And you know, if you've been enjoying it, thank you for everyone who's followed today. And I'll be uploading this to YouTube as well, so if you haven't, you know, if you've not been watching the whole thing, you can watch it there when it's done. And yeah, we'll do more Dwarf Fortress, we'll do the other kinds of streams that I do here, we'll play some more games and that kind of stuff. So I'll see you guys around, and thanks everybody for joining us. I think it was a really good stream today, despite the technical issues, because I know my internet was being crap, but can't do much about that right now, I'm afraid. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again next time. And yeah, that's the second stream of the Field of Sorcerers. A lot's happened. Let's just make sure that it saves correctly first, so it doesn't like crash or anything like that, because that's also very awful. I'm going to see if there's anybody I can raid, anybody who I think deserves to be raided, because, you know, maybe there's someone who's streaming. Oh, they're doing the EU4 multiplayer, aren't they? We don't do marbles after these streams. You already know that. We do marbles on other streams, not these ones. But yeah, we'll raid the EU4 multiplayer game that they're doing on the DDR Jake multiplayer one. So we'll raid that, and then you can watch them play that. So let me just set that up, and then I'll see you guys again whenever. God, I can't spell his name. Yeah, Miraja, isn't it? Yeah. There we go. So yeah, go watch them play EU4. I'm sure they're doing a better job at it than I would. And I'll see you guys again next time. And yeah, see you guys later.